What's up, guys? Welcome back to another podcast episode. Today is just going to be me and Sasha because Sebe couldn't do it, and we just felt like we needed to get an episode out there. But yeah, we've been away for a while, but we're going to try to get back into some more consistency now. But yeah, Juve. I'm just going to do a quick run throughout the game and like what happened basically, because we started like the first 12 minutes off very well, I thought. Then Juve's goal came, and we just stopped doing anything after that. Really, we didn't
we started dreading the 4-0.
Yeah, no, exactly, and we didn't push on. Juve sat like they had a reason to sit back and just absorb pressure, and without Jaco, we couldn't do anything because we had no crossing option.
But they basically just played it down the left wing for the next 30 minutes straight.
Exactly, and if you don't have anyone in the center to cross it to, what are you going to do?
And listen, there was the one. Sorry, actually, never mind. Continue with the review of the game. We'll get there.
No, but like second half, offensively, same thing. Defensively, we were quite sound the whole game, but they just had like a few moments where they have Ronaldo. Like, what are you gonna do?
We held the ball for most of the game, but I mean, honestly, one of the first thoughts I had watching the game was this reminded me so much of the old Roma Juve games of the last 5-6 years, where we were fighting them for the title or at least top three. And we would go there believing we could get a result, and Juve would let us believe we could get a result for 90 minutes. But the reality is they had full control of the game.
We were never.
There was no point where we were at. And it's, you can say, look, with Ronaldo's goal, it starts with the Spinazzola era, because he doesn't want to take a simple option available to him. He wants to force something more.
Like so versus Hellas as well.
Yeah, exactly. And he chips the ball and hits a pass where he dribbled up the middle and got robbed of the ball.
Yeah.
So he chips the ball up and then smashes a volley, because apparently he's De Bruyne and he can do that. Miss it in totality. Alexandro counters.
Wait,
Cristante.
Did he chip it up?
He chips it up first, and then smashes the volley.
Then I remembered it as he just tried to cross ball and just failed it. Then it's even worse.
That's why I was so. Yeah, that's why I'm so.
Okay, now I get you.
Miscontrolled the ball. Either he miscontrolled the ball, but yeah. So I just don't understand that. Then Cristante, obviously horrendous defending.
Also, I said this to you, but I'm gonna add it here.
Yeah.
In that, like, VR, that's fucking embarrassing what he does, because there's a hole there, like behind Cristante, where he should help, like, double up with Cristante. Instead, he goes up to like try to mark the defensive midfielder, and like, sure, if you play a 3-man midfield, that's probably the right thing to do. You're in 2-man midfield, you leave a hole there, and then Veretout alone in the midfield. Then Veretout has to go to Morata, and Ronaldo's open for a long shot.
And not only is he not in a 3-man midfield, Cristante has been beaten on the wing. He's defending the wing. You know, so the other guy, if you're even going to argue that, no, it's a 3-5-1-1, Cristante was in midfield. The guy's not, he's still not there. So you need to be there.
When VR went up to press, Cristante hadn't been beaten yet, but it's still a mistake.
No, fair enough. But what I mean is he's covering Kozop, he's up on the wing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and then obviously ball cross gets played in, and then Ronaldo gets it. And by the way, I'm sure we all knew, but as I saw him get the ball, I knew it was 1-0 already when I saw him get the ball. Shoots through Kumbula's legs, obviously, because I think we must concede the most goals through shots through the legs in the league. I think. Huge issue. Shoot at our defenders and you'll score. And Paul Lopez positioning, I think, I I just have no words for our goalkeepers at this point. Get all new start was out of the rest of the season. Fuck it. At least the
Right.
guy maybe he's worth 10 million in the end, and we make Dos Valenza because
Yeah.
he can't be worse. It's
Exactly.
literally like, I mean, unless he somehow breaks records and costs us 5 a game, it's not like it could. I mean, Paul Lopez is absolute. He
He's
just
garbage.
breaks his own ceiling of how bad he is each game. It's unbelievable.
When I was watching the game, like obviously I don't watch the goalkeeper when the ball gets played out, like when it's live. So I see Ronaldo control it and take the shot, and when he takes the shot, I'm like, okay, the keeper is gonna tip that out for a corner because like it's not a great shot. And then like Lopez he's not even close to the ball, and I'm like, how? What?
It's just, I mean, I think Hellas Verona 1 shot, 1 goal. Juve won.
Yes,
Two
I think so.
Juve 3 shots. I think they got 1 shot on target. What did they get another shot? Did he
2
get a
shots on
save?
target. 2 shots on target.
Yeah, he made 1 save, and
Yeah.
he got lucky. They hit the post. But really, it's at a point where. Do you want to share that stat you had brought up with me earlier about our shots in big games?
Okay, so these aren't completely reliable. I like checked them out myself and counted myself because I couldn't. But like against the big like the top 7 or whatever, this season we have 38 shots against us, 20 goals conceded. To compare, Juve have 33 shots against them. So like 38 shots is like that's a good amount, or shots on target. Sorry, that's a good amount to concede. Like it's normal. Juve have the best defense in the league.
Yeah, it's not as if they're just running through us.
Exactly. Like we don't concede many chances. We have 20 goals conceded. It's just
how many. Sorry, did you happen to see how many goals conceded Juve have with their 33 shots?
I know in total in the league, all games they have
less than 18, we have in the big games.
18 goals conceded. So
but you know what, they have a good keeper who was trained very well.
Obviously it's not just the keeper, because I would assume we concede probably higher quality shots on target, but still.
And I also think that's the nature of being counterattacked so brutally so often.
Of course.
Although if we just actually think about it, we are free to think about it. If we think about the goals we've conceded in big games,
not many are from.
How many are not defensive error related? So we'll say the own goal against Juve is not defensive error.
No.
Although
you know what?
I mean,
Ibanez should follow, because Kulusevski makes that run, right? And Diawara doesn't follow him because Kulusevski is behind his back. It's very hard to follow that run. Ibanez stands still and starts half a second too late. If he's half a second earlier, he can get between and like block the pass.
Okay, fair enough. But I don't think that's a major defensive error.
No, exactly.
So the first one, I'd say, do you know what? To get beaten, the Spinazzola pass, and then to get beaten the way Cristante got beaten.
Yeah, that's
I think those are 2 major errors. Yeah. Those are major errors. And then you combine pass positioning.
Yeah.
You can count that goal as conceded through error.
Yeah.
You look at, if we go through quickly, Milan. Lazio, 3 errors. Lazio, at Milan, Kumbula error for the first goal. Where he misjudges the thing. Inter.
Not really. Spinazzola should have got in closer to Hakimi, but it's not like. Nothing.
Okay, fair enough.
That's a wonder goal, by the way. It's not something you concede often, a shot like that. Yeah. Then we have Atalanta, like 2 or 3 mistakes at least for goals. I can't think exactly. Napoli, all of them are defensive mistakes or goalkeeper mistakes.
Goalkeeper mistakes, or like somehow it just rolls in.
Yeah.
Like, you see, it's not
so
like
many.
If you look at the games, realistically, I mean, if it's like the reaction is, you'd swear Roma was looking like Bologna looked versus us.
Yeah.
like you'd swear that, but it's just not the reality. What I will say is the problem is it's not that we are dominant, we are attacking, we're tearing them apart, and then we make an error and we concede. We are not impressive at all, and then we make an error and concede.
Yeah.
Going forward, we need to, do you know what? If you can't do anything going forward, it's almost inevitable that something's going to give. And it doesn't give an excuse for the mistakes, but I wonder if our forwards could generate I don't know. I just feel like we generate the most chances in the league, on average in the leagues, but I can't think of chances we've created against. We didn't create a good chance against Juve or Lazio, in my opinion.
No.
Having said that, we did get a penalty. We should have gotten a penalty against Juve because Villar did get fouled by Rabiot, and that's quite clear if you watch a slow motion.
But that's also like it's an individual.
Exactly, it's not. So there's clearly an issue in that sense where I think Fonseca's perhaps his attacking system is, but I also just think there's a lack of quality in the final ball that just isn't there in Roma.
And you know what doesn't make sense?
Tactically.
The people say like, yeah, when he comes up against bigger manager, they can just read him, blah, 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 blah. Is Gattuso a better manager than Juric? Like tactically. Is Pioli better manager than Juric tactically? Is Pirlo better manager than Juric?
Exactly.
I'm saying Juric just because I can't.
Yes.
Surely Ranieri, he's better than all of these defensively, tactically. So surely it's not just because we're too easy to read. Maybe we rely too much on individual quality. Maybe it's something like a mental thing. I don't know.
I think we don't have the individual quality.
No, exactly.
To beat top defenses.
Exactly, like against the shit defense.
We don't have a Nangolan who can volley a top right corner. Although we supposed to, but he just disappears, Mkhitaryan.
Yeah.
In these types of matches, but I mean, I think bring it back to the game a bit more.
I can just add about the attack that I was saying to you as well.
Oh yeah, sorry.
When we don't have Pellegrini playing in midfield, we don't have anyone from midfield creating anything.
Agreed.
And in this formation, you need that.
And it's not even his creating. I mean, if you just think when nothing's happening, the guy is able to just generate a shot for himself.
Yeah, you don't need to put players through on goal. You need to just get into shooting position or get the ball into shooting positions. Villar or Vertu don't really do that. Villar could do this, but he doesn't.
That's something I think Al-Shalawi will help with a lot.
Yes.
Which is something we can look forward to.
Because, as I said to you earlier, right now, if Cristante doesn't play, in attacking midfielder, we have Pellegrini, Mkhitaryan, and Spinazzola who can create chances. Spinazzola is a bit like but he's still like one of the 3 players who can create chances for us, and that's not enough versus these big teams. You're not going to score.
And in fact, simply put, sorry guys, we're recording very late.
Yeah.
Spinazzola, against big teams, they're happy to let you knock it to their 6'5" centre backs all game.
Yeah.
It's just.
Exactly. He doesn't have high enough quality crosses to do anything dangerous.
Or a good. And do you know what? I'm sorry, but I just don't see. I can't understand why he can't shoot. It's not that hard, is it? To hit the ball hard with the side of your foot once you've gotten. I don't expect him to. Now it's one thing finishing 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and it's another thing shooting from distance. But I just feel like cutting in and shooting is one of the easiest things to do in the game.
You're
putting the ball on your strong foot.
The thing is, it's not like the issue is that he doesn't score goals with his shots. The issue is the shots are like, they're not even like threatening the goal. It's either in the middle or
he just because he has no confidence in his shot.
Yeah, maybe.
They just don't even come through.
I'm like average player. I'm not good at all. But I think I almost have the same level of shooting as Spinazzola. Like shooting technique.
See, I'm not humble like you. I am better. I'm a better shooter than Spinazzola.
Yeah.
I will say it.
Although I'm sure I'm terrible at shooting.
I'm sure in training he probably looks better.
Maybe.
But
I hope so.
maybe
for
it's a
his sake.
psychological thing, a lack
I
of
hope so
confidence,
for his
but
sake, because
it's just atrocious.
seriously, is there a player in the Serie A that isn't a centre back that has a worse shot than Spinazzola?
Diawara.
No, true. We got both of them. Fuck's sake.
so Spinazzola and Karsdorp. I'm very excited for Brian Reynolds because I think and it's this simple. The problem with Karsdorp is he's good, don't get me wrong, but the problem is we still end up over reliant on the left back.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't turn his man. Not against weaker teams that Karsdorp can just run past their fullback, but as soon as it's a strong defender, we're stuck on the left flank. And if Reynolds can be the talent that he's projected to be, he can then give Roma the option of the right flank. And then Spinazzola maybe gets over this thing of dribbling all the time, a bit more balance in the team. I mean, for someone like Fonseca who speaks so much about balance, the fullback situation is concerning. That's then I think
Karsdorp needs to learn some things from Spinazzola because he never dares to take on this man. And I see, like, we've seen that he can do that because when he gets the ball in his own half for some fucking reason, he can dribble 3 players. I don't know why he does it only in his own half, but like, he can do it. Why don't you do it when you're actually supposed to dribble? Like,
agreed. Spinazzola. So there's certain differences that you see. Karsdorp loves that early ball inside.
Yeah.
Spinazzola wouldn't play it if you put a gun to his head because I don't know, but it's because he doesn't have a left foot. I think honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just, but yeah, and I think, but I don't think we need to.
No.
I think Spinazzola's foot, like that needs to change.
Yeah.
We're over reliant on it and it's not effective. If do you know what? If the Oak was a great crosser, I wouldn't be saying a word.
I agree.
But
he can't cross. He can't put an early cross in. The only thing he can do is dribble 1-on-1. That's all he can do attackingly. And
don't get us wrong, he's a fantastic defender.
Yeah. He's a good.
Use that.
He's a good left back.
Use that. Agreed. You can go back to a back four as far as I'm concerned. I think these two have proven that they can play there.
Yeah.
Our attacking, they're actually not good at. Do you know what they are? They are fantastic left and right backs. And do you know why? Do you know what you want from your left and right back? Once in a while, he has to get on the overlap. He can hit in a good cross.
Yeah.
From your left or right midfielder, you need a world-class player in modern football. You need an Hakimi to play that. We don't have those. We thought Spinazzola was one. He's not. But I think he could be a fantastic left back.
Yeah.
I think he could be. I think
defensively, he's so good. He's so good.
Fantastic defensively. And Karsdorp has been as well.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
It's been very good.
He has still some way to go, but still.
What are you doing? Yeah. But I mean, I think he's a better defender than Florenzi.
Yeah.
And I think that's honestly, I think that was appropriate for our right back defense.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's nothing to complain about.
Our centre backs were, I think, aside from Ronaldo punishing Kumbula, I don't know. Ronaldo, you just have to almost take your hat off to him. As much as I'd hate to do it, but he could tell he can't beat Mancini and Ibanez physically. He can't. They destroyed him when they took him off. So what does he do? He runs off Kumbula's shoulder because he knows he's got him for pace.
And I was thinking about this. You can't blame Kumbula because on the 2 shots he got off, like the one he hit the bar and the other one, the one he hit the bar, Kumbula almost has to be a bit in front of him because if he's too close, he's going to lose the aerial duel if the ball is high, 100%. Like it's not even. So he has to have some space between them, and then the passes, it's a perfect pass, and then he tries to block the shot and almost does.
Agreed. No, and I'm not criticizing Kumbula.
I mean this.
I'm just saying Ronaldo is so clever. I think what Fonseca needs to do in that situation. Agreed, yes, fantastic. But what Kumbula needs to do what Fonseca needs to do in that situation, honestly, Ibanez, you man mark him.
Yeah.
And I know it's risky with a 3-man defense, but when Juve's attacks Ronaldo, it is Ronaldo, especially when they don't have Dybala. You don't put one of those Oaks on him because Ronaldo is smart enough to just attack a different space. He doesn't
And
need. He's not like he's not like an Iron Robin who can only cut in from the left wing, and it's like, okay, we're going to cover the left. We don't have to now worry about Robin attacking from the right side.
he can
Ronaldo
do
can.
anything.
Exactly. So that's
and
where we got exploited, I think.
Ibanez, like one-on-one, and I don't mean like one-on-one dribbling, but like one-on-one, like physically in the air, dribbling, everything, pace. He can match any attacker in the world. He has some faults, like with his
So
positioning.
do you know when I start worrying? Do you know with that? Do you know where I start worrying? Lukaku. When you get someone like that, I do think you might toss him.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
Lukaku's also a freak of nature.
Exactly. The only defender in the world that can handle Lukaku is probably Van Dijk. Maybe someone else, but like.
He actually plays in Rome, Christopher. But and I'm sorry, but he did. He did. he actually did.
But there are
in the other game.
If Lukaku has a great game, not even
agreed.
Smalling can
He's
handle
almost
it.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Even Chiellini said that himself.
Exactly. So, but other than that, like there are very few players that can beat Ibanez one-on-one. So, man-mark Ronaldo, like tell him to man-mark Ronaldo. You're gonna take Ronaldo out of the game.
And it's worth it, even if it means Morata has more space. It's worth. It's Ronaldo.
It's fine. You've taken one player out of the game. They have one attacker against your two defenders.
And then our other major issue. So, sorry, our major issue in defense is our midfield. How bad our midfielders are at defending is absolutely insane to me. Like it's almost as if the coach doesn't believe midfielders should defend and has never told them to, because that's how they behave. It's ridiculous.
And it's also I think not entirely a tactical issue, but a bit of a tactical issue.
No, sorry, I'm not blaming the coach. I'm saying the way they play is as if the coach has never mentioned it.
Exactly, but I'm kind of not disagreeing with you, but like I'm adding something that also.
Okay, on top. Okay, I understand. Sorry.
It's like because we don't have that protection in front of the penalty area to block long shots. It's too easy for teams.
We don't have that. We don't have the DDR throwing his body on the line.
Exactly, but that's not only like it's partly the players, obviously. Like with the first goal that I mentioned about VR.
Oh yeah, but it's also a two-man midfield is going to lead to that.
And
inevitably agreed.
They go up too often. They leave spaces, and that's partly a tactical issue.
See, the problem is a two-man midfield. You're talking about when those teams have won titles. You're talking about a Patrick Vieira there. You're not talking about a Vertu. Exactly. You're talking about the best, because do you know how good you need to be able to cover for an extra man.
Yeah, and midfield is one of the most important, probably the most important area of a team. I really believe this, because they're supposed to create and defend, and our midfield.
A strong midfield. Sorry, our midfield made us believe that Manolas was a good player.
Yeah.
Our midfield was so strong that, like, I promise you, keep the attack and defense and change the midfield, and that Roma probably struggles for Champions League. No joke. In fact, no. That Roma doesn't come top four whatsoever without that midfield. Confident of that. In fact, confident.
I agree.
Except with that Strootman let us see. No, do you
just
know what?
Because we have Alisson.
No, just, and you know, even Alisson wouldn't have been enough. In fact, he would have ended up in midfield.
Yeah, true.
But so that's, and that's something we lost. That's something we decided to rip apart, our strongest asset, and we haven't recovered from there. No. VR and Pellegrini and Diawara used to look like potential building blocks to start fresh. Vertu, do you know who he is? Do you know who Vertu is? He's the gent we were always looking for when we had De Rossi, Strootman and Angolan to come off the bench.
True.
He is the man we were dying for to come off the bench.
True.
He's don't misunderstand me. If we're going to think of Roma as a 5th or 6th place team, I'm perfectly happy with Vertu. I'm speaking of in a world where we want to challenge for the Scudetto eventually.
Yeah.
Vertu, I don't think is the answer.
No.
And I think you need to go find someone, honestly. Unless you're going to somehow resurrect Diawara and make him work, you probably need to find somebody.
I'll say it like this: Veretout or Viard is good enough to start in this midfield, but
not both.
then you need someone next to them that is like
Exactly.
a higher quality player. Like they can be the guy next to them that's like he's good, but he's not like the star.
Although I think VR could be the star eventually, not right now, but obviously with him, VR is almost you're almost to play him in two-man midfield is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because he's a borderline Pastore type player.
Yeah.
So you almost in a classic regista sense where protect VR kind of thing. That's how you use him. Where you have an oak next to him, he's going to destroy everyone who comes near him.
Exactly. But even now, if you have a good midfielder next to him, like a Kessier, like a top or a Barella.
Kessier in this team, we would be first.
Exactly. No, but I mean, like either of them next to a top side player, that can be like the Strootman to the Nainggolan. Like he's good.
Yeah.
Like the Strootman at the end.
Yeah.
Next to Nainggolan, he's good. He's good enough. But if he didn't have Nainggolan next to him, this midfield would be average. But for now, he's good enough, you know. That's what we are on right now.
Probably. I don't know. I just don't think. I don't know if we actually need a world-class defensive mid. I just think we need a defensive mid.
Yeah. No.
I mean, maybe to challenge for a title, you are right. Maybe.
Of course.
For now, I think just get a defensive mid for now.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. I think that is our biggest. It's almost like is our biggest weakness, because if you strengthen the midfield, you're gonna score more and you're gonna concede less chances, even if striker and keeper are glaring.
It's gonna be such a huge jump. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yes, keeper's obvious, but I think now it's like if you fix the midfield, now you probably start having less issues from your keeper. I don't know. You know what I mean?
And when we played with a better midfielder, Pellegrini, we played better against the big teams, except versus Napoli. But like, still, like the good games we had against the big teams, Juve and Milan, we played with Pellegrini in midfield.
And Pellegrini is huge for this team, I think.
Exactly. But getting back into the game, I just wanted to mention about like we have to remember we started Cristante in the attacking midfielder against Juve. I can't say I expected us to create more than one chance.
Yeah, I don't want to be a loser, but I'll take 2-0 because I was expecting 4.
Yeah, like can we expect us to create anything in this game? I didn't.
I think, yeah, and I think even with sorry, excuse me. Sometimes you think, oh well, we played Juve the first game, where it's like, do you expect anything? But then in the end, you're like, we should have won.
Yeah.
In the end, 2-0 was a fair result.
Yeah.
They were that much better than us. They were.
Yeah.
The ease with which Cuadrado and Kulusevski cut us apart was just embarrassing almost. It's almost like, oh, okay, guys, just try for 30 seconds, make it 2, and then we can chill. That's literally like it was.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly.
So yeah. And then the final thing to really touch on, and then we can start finishing off, is the attack needs to, well, we said already the attack needs to improve. I think they need to sort out the centre forward situation. The Mkhitaryan, listen, we have Pedro coming back from injury. As much as he started to irritate us, he still has a game in there. He still has a game in him. Pedro, we have Zaniolo returning in a month. That's when my life starts again. We have Pastore potentially coming back.
Exactly.
I think, and we also have to, like, why hasn't Pastore played? I think we have to almost just pretend in your mind Pastore tore his ACL and treat it like that, because I think it's going to take a while for him to be ready.
100%.
In terms of like, he's back in the squad, but he still needs time to get ready to play.
Yeah.
Then we have Al-Sharawi, who we've just signed. So I think attacking mid is probably going to sort itself out pretty soon. striker is something we need to start thinking about, because Mayoral just goes from looking not good enough and a replacement at best, and the next game he looks like a fantastic.
No, but like
It's a
he
difficult
can
situation.
be good in these versus these small teams.
I
He
think
just
what you
doesn't have
need
the
to do is
quality for
bring
this.
in. Well, no, but you see, that's the thing. He's still 23. He's never
Yeah, no.
had to score. He's never had to score the winner for Roma against Juve before. You know, give him. But that's why I think what you need to do now is perhaps I'm going to sound crazy, but you bring in a Vlahovic.
Yeah, maybe.
You bring in another young striker, and come boys, who's taking it? Who's gonna be,
I feel
who's
like
gonna turn into the superstar? You know, because
both
I just
of them
think
they're gonna make big big
yeah,
improvements over the next
and
year.
they're not
So
gonna
yeah,
have problems rotating.
Mm.
You bring in a Belotti, Mayoral is done. Mayoral will
Yeah.
be an afterthought. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Sorry, just hear me out. If they brought in Belotti, I don't give a fuck about who is Mayoral to me. I'll take that in a heartbeat. I'm just saying in context of Mayoral, and Belotti was a bad example. Like, but if you bring in a
like I said,
who are we? Not even a Lacazette, I guess, but even Lacazette, I'd be pretty happy with. I'm trying to think of who we were linked with. Like you bring in a 30-year-old striker.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Sorry, let me not think of a specific player. Sorry about that. Let me rather say this: you bring in a 27-year-old striker, that's fine, because you bring in his top, that's fine. You bring in the starting striker is 31, it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Because Mayoral will be forgotten about. He's forgotten about for the 27-year-old, that's fine. He's 27, you're getting 6 years out of him. You know, you bring him in for a 31, 32-year-old, he gets forgotten about, we're fucked again in 2 years, exact same situation.
Exactly. It's gonna be like with Schick and Dzeko. Schick
so
was a different issue, but like.
But it's also in hindsight that just seemed. I know we've spoken about it 1,000 times, but it must have been that he didn't want to stay because. Look,
he didn't have any motivation.
Was he going to do what Mayoral has done? Anyway.
No.
Because he hasn't. Because I've just seen Leverkusen 4-1, nothing from Czech. So,
yeah.
I think that's going to be. And you know what's irritating? Every single transfer window for the last 2 years, I've been like, I can't wait. Because I'm a striker fanboy. I can't wait to see who our new striker is. And every year, it's just Dzeko. Then we actually get one, and it's just this ridiculous Spanish guy. Who's this guy? It's actually brought a bit of sauce. Definitely smashed expectations.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
But it's still like we haven't had a hype signing.
We still haven't found the answer.
Exactly.
Definitively. So hopefully this transfer but I could honestly see it being it might come down to a case of it's his last year and he's too difficult to move. We're just going to stick it out and it's going to really suck. But what I do know for sure is it's max 1 year and a half left of Dzeko striker, and then we're done.
Yeah, I agree. But it should be half a year.
Hopefully.
But I agree.
It's just supposed to be half a year for the last year.
Yeah, exactly. So. Exactly.
I think in fact, before maybe just share, because there's a lot of controversy surrounding Fonseca currently.
Yeah.
Maybe just quickly share your position on that. Personally, I think I think fully we need this. Priority needs to be to improve the squad, because if you fire Fonseca now for Allegri, that's fine. I'm not going to say you can compare them. Sure, maybe I have my own reservations that I won't bring up now about the comparison between the two, because I think we can say that for another time. Yeah. But I think you bring in Allegri with the squad, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money, because if you want to use the argument that he's so much better, maybe so much better is a 4th place. And if all our ambition is Champions League, well,
it depends. If we do heavy investment and like get Belotti and
agreed,
then
if you're going to do that and bring Allegri, but the thing is,
that's
don't
not
bother firing the coach if you're going to leave the team as it is, because clearly, and
Fonseca is good enough.
If you want to wait, exactly. If you want to wait a year or two, sort out the debts properly, and then take the team seriously, go. Fonseca is actually the perfect guy to allow the team to develop with for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So I think keep him. If it's a case of we could get in Allegri And sorry, there's just something happening outside. I'm getting robbed. There was Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, so sorry. So if you were to bring in, if it was a case of, oh no, we're not investing for Fonseca because we don't believe he's good enough for our money, and we will invest for Allegri, then I'm not going to argue. Bring in Allegri, give him the squad you want to give him. Clearly, you know what you're doing. But if you think bringing in Allegri now is gonna, and leaving things as is gonna change anything, I think you're just fooling yourself.
The issue is not the coach right now; it's the squad. The coach could be improved, but he's not the issue really.
Exactly. It's not the priority. It's not what we should be worrying about right now. Like, you change the coach when the team's ready for that step up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If Fonseca can't step up with the team.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I think that's going to be the end of this episode. I don't know how long it was, but I think it was a bit shorter than usual. Next week, hopefully, we have Sebe back, most likely. And it's a game against Udinese.
Udinese.
Yeah. So
and
must win.
They actually beat Verona today, I believe.
2-0.
Maybe you see, it always irritates me when this happens, because anytime Roma look like they've achieved something, it just gets taken away by something like that. Like, oh, don't worry, guys, Hellas Verona actually just shit now.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't achieve anything.
But to be fair, this has been Hellas the whole season. Shit against, or like average against the shit teams, and then against the good teams. Godlike. So it's not really taking away anything, but we know that's how fans are going to see it.
They're a mini Roma.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, a mini classic Roma.
Yeah.
Like, this is just classic Roma would have beaten everyone, all the big teams.
And then, this is just
like, I'm sorry, guys, please, let's just end it off with this. Tell me what you want. Tell us in the comments what you'd rather have. No wins against the top 6 right now, or frequent 2-0 losses to spell. Because I know what I prefer, personally. But you just but cool. I think we can we'll see you next time, guys.
Bye. Take care.